The Prime Minister launched his fiercest offensive yet on the Congress in what could be his last speech in the 16th Lok Sabha. Replying to the President's address, Mr. Modi gave a point-by-point rebuttal to the charges leveled against him by the Congress. And he referred to the Mahagathbandhan, he said, as a Mahamilawat or a mixture. The Prime Minister also slammed the Congress for what he said was the original disrespecting of institutions like the Army, EC and Supreme Court, and said it was the Congress which was the fountainhead of corruption. Listen in to Narendra Modi first.
आपने कहा मोदी संस्थाओं को खत्म कर रहा है, बर्बाद कर रहा है। हमारे यहाँ एक कहावत है, उल्टा चोर चौकीदार को डांटे। महात्मा गांधी बहुत पहले भनक गए थे, उनको अंदाज आ गया था कि सारी बीमारियों को रिसीविंग कैपेसिटी सबसे किसी की ज्यादा है तो कांग्रेस की है। और इसलिए महात्मा गांधी ने उसी समय कहा था कांग्रेस को बिखेर दो। कांग्रेस मुक्त भारत है मेरा स्लोगन नहीं है, मैं तो महात्मा गांधी जी की इच्छा पूरी कर रहा हूं। और 150 साल है महात्मा गांधी जी के, ये श्रद्धांजलि के रूप में काम करना ही करना है। और कितनी मिलावट कर लो बच नहीं सकते हो। इतिहास गवाह है, कांग्रेस पार्टी और उनकी यूपीए की सरकार का सत्ता भोग का कालखंड रक्षा सौदों में दलाली के बिना काम कर ही नहीं। मैं कभी सोच रहा था कि राफेल को लेकर के ये झूठ भी इतने कॉन्फिडेंस से क्या बोलते हैं, ये झूठ भी इतने कॉन्फिडेंस से क्या बोलते हैं, ये मैं सोचता था। तो जब मैं डिटेल देखने लगा तो मुझे पता चला कि वो ये मान के चले हैं कि पिछले 55 साल में सत्ता भोग के काल में एक भी रक्षा सौदा बिना दलाली हुआ ही नहीं। कहां से कोई चाचा, कोई मामा जब पारदर्शिता से ईमानदारी से देश की वायुसेना को मजबूत करने का काम हो रहा है तो माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, ये कांग्रेस के लोग जरा बौखला जाते हैं, चेहरे उतरे हुए हैं। और कारण यही है क्योंकि अब राजदार को पकड़ करके लाए गए हैं। एक नहीं, दो नहीं, 3 राजदार। अब आपकी चिंता है कैसे पकड़े जाते हैं, कैसे लाए जाते हैं, कैसे पूछा जाता है और चिट्ठियां पकड़ाई जाती है, छुप के चिट्ठियां पकड़ाई जाती है। और इसलिए आपकी बेचैनी मैं समझ सकता हूं। 30 साल के बाद देश की जनता ने पूर्ण बहुमत वाली सरकार चुनी है और देश अनुभव करता है जब मिलावटी सरकार होती है तब क्या हाल होता है। और अब तो महामिलावट आने वाला है। ये महामिलावट आप कलकत्ते में इकट्ठा करो, देख लो, ये महामिलावट का हाल देखो। केरल में मुंह नहीं देख पाएंगे एक दूसरे का। ये महामिलावट का नेतृत्व करने वालों को उत्तर प्रदेश में बाहर कर दिया। जो हेल्थ कॉन्शियस सोसाइटी है वो भी मिलावट से दूर रहती हैं। हेल्दी डेमोक्रेसी वाले भी ये महामिलावट से दूर रहने वाले हैं। बेनामी संपत्ति कानून तो कितने साल पहले बना पड़ा था, लेकिन पार्लियामेंट में बहस कर ली, दुनिया को मैसेज दे दिया, वोट बटोर लिए, लेकिन उसको आगे ही नहीं बढ़ाया गया, इसी प्रकार के रखा गया। हमने आकर के कानून किया और बेनामी संपत्ति आज जब्त हो रही है, उसी के कारण लोग परेशान हैं और प्रॉपर्टी निकल रही है कहां। और इसलिए परेशानी होना बहुत स्वाभाविक है।
Okay, so there you have Prime Minister Modi targeting the Gandhi family and the Congress. Rahul Gandhi, though, had his own response to the Prime Minister. Listen in.
नरेंद्र मोदी जी के को मेरे साथ एक खड़ा कर दो, मेरे साथ 10 मिनट में खड़ा कर दो, डिबेट करा दो। आप मेरे साथ नरेंद्र मोदी का डिबेट करा दो, नेशनल सिक्योरिटी के राफेल मामले पे डिबेट करा दो। मैं भाग जाएगा, भाग जाएगा। मेरा कहना है कि ये डरपोक व्यक्ति है, मैं इसको पहचान लिया हूं, ये डरता है। जब इसके सामने आदमी खड़ा होता है कि मैं नहीं करूंगा पीछे, क्या करोगे? नरेंद्र मोदी जी राफेल के मामले में दिखाएंगे, किसानों के मामले में दिखाएंगे, रोजगार के मामले में दिखाएंगे, मध्य प्रदेश, छत्तीसगढ़, राजस्थान, तमिलनाडु, आंध्र, तेलंगाना, नॉर्थ ईस्ट सब जगह दिखाएंगे। दिखा दो। नहीं।
Okay, so you've got two leaders today battling it out, giving it as good as it gets. I want to raise the big question. As we heard Prime Minister Modi taking the battle into the opposition camp, Rahul hitting back, the question, is Prime Minister Modi's Chowkidaar image intact or not? Did the Prime Minister manage to effectively counter Rahul's Rafale charges and the Chowkidaar Chor Hai jibe? Modi versus Rahul, who's winning the perception battle on corruption? Some of the questions I want to raise tonight. Nalin Kohli, spokesperson of the BJP, Pawan Khera, spokesperson of the Congress, Javed Ansari, senior journalist, Rahul Srivastav, our national affairs editor, with me in the studio here today. Pawan Khera, respond to what you heard today from Prime Minister Modi, making it very clear, as he said, that he believes the Congress is the fountainhead of corruption. He has now said, far from being ulta kotwal chowkidar ko date, ulta chor Chowkidar ko date. When you say Chowkidaar Chor Hai, he says he is the Chowkidar, the Congress is the Chor.
Rajdeep, this sounds like Narendra Modi in 2013-14 when he was campaigning to become the Prime Minister. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed barring one aspect, which is faking data. We had heard of fake news. Now let's get used to fake data. He says that 2.5 lakh crores of NPAs have gone up to 12.5 because that's the interest. Which economist would even, people would shudder to think he's our Prime Minister. The best part of the speech today, Rajdeep, was that this is his last speech as the Prime Minister of India. That was the only redeeming feature. Otherwise, it's the usual empty vessels make much noise in Hindi. Thotha chana, baje ghana. Your Hindi is not too good, I know.
No, my Hindi is good.
Still say that.
No, don't say that. No, don't say that about my Hindi. No, just a minute. My Hindi is fine. I'm going to ask you though, let's come to specifics. The Prime Minister has taken the battle into your camp. It comes at a day, Pawan Khera, when Robert Vadra is being questioned for the second consecutive day. Karti Chidambaram has been questioned again today by the ED. P. Chidambaram is going to be questioned tomorrow. The Prime Minister is sending out the message once again, na khaunga, na khane dunga. To that extent, the perception war. Do you concede, given what's happening in the Enforcement Directorate, that the Prime Minister is now on the front foot?
Na khaunga, na khane dunga is a slogan which everybody should stop using now. Where is the Lokpal? What happened to the Sahara Birla diaries? What happened to Ajit Doval's son? What happened to Jay Shah? What happened to Piyush Goyal's family industries and companies? Now, when it comes to Robert Vadra, let's be clear, this is one point program of this party from 2012 to keep attacking the Congress through Robert Vadra without an iota of evidence. Now, right now on your channel, we saw the report from London. There is no connection with either Robert Vadra or any of the names they are floating in public, Sumit Chadda or Sanjay Bhandari. On the contrary, there is evidence of Sanjay Bhandari making hundreds of calls to Siddharth Nath Singh. Where is the inquiry on that? Today, Sudhanshu Mohanty wrote a damning piece. Sudhanshu Mohanty is the former officer of the Defense Ministry, about the role played, unauthorized role played by the NSA in the negotiations of Rafale. What on earth was that? Can the Prime Minister even talk about honesty? If he were honest, he would have appointed Lokayukt in Gujarat when he was the Chief Minister and Lokpal in India as the Prime Minister. He is afraid. तभी राहुल गांधी कहते हैं वो डरपोक हैं. सिर्फ एक डरपोक आदमी आलोक वर्मा को आधी रात को हटा देगा because he is scared कि आलोक वर्मा को इंक्वायरी ना शुरू कर दें. He is scared of Asthana. He is scared of Alok Verma. He is scared of everybody who knows the skeletons in his cupboard in Gujarat. उनको या तो यहाँ रिवॉर्ड करके पोस्टिंग दे देते हैं गुजरात काडर के अफसरों को, या अगर वो उनके अगेंस्ट है तो उनको मिजोरम भेज देते हैं. What kind of an honest prime minister is this?
Okay, let Pawan Khera then let Nalin Kohli respond to what you're saying. Nalin Kohli, was today's speech a speech to win back the perception war? Nirav Modi, Mehul Choksi, Rafale, the Congress going on and on about Chowkidaar Chor Hai. Was this the opportunity of the Prime Minister to say, enough is enough, the gloves are off, election season, I'm going to hit you where it hurts? Robert Vadra, Sanjay Bhandari, Deepak Talwar, the middlemen who the Prime Minister claims he's brought back to the country.
This will take a few minutes because Mr. Khera has made many points, but I'll answer each one of them. Yes, of course, it's a no-holds barred. We are getting into election time, and there will be two parts to it, which is evident from the Honourable Prime Minister's speech. There is going to be the talk about what this government has done over its tenure and to bring it to the before the people, and to the other side is to point out what the other side's opposition parties or the primary opposition party, what are their omissions and commissions. Let me first start with your report. You mentioned about the report, the names not being there of London, and then your reporter has pointed out that there is a correspondence referring to the renovation in which Mr. Vadra replies also. Please understand the Enforcement Directorate functions under the regime of the PMLA Act, which is the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. The very name specifies it that there is an act of laundering of money, which is what the proceeds of crime are, and normally it is parked in properties. That's why under section 5 you have the first part of it, which is about a provisional attachment of a property where the proceeds of crime, which is non-taxable or slush money parked into a property, is sought to be attached. Now the second question is, normally laundering of money takes place by forming associations, funds, trusts. What is important, who stands behind it, and whether there's an explanation that is just in law, correct in law, about where the transaction came from and whether the property is justified in that. That's all. That's what the ED does. It's not going to happen by taking out the name of who is there. I would expect that the best people who do commit a crime in terms of money laundering don't really go and buy a property in their own name. It's like taking a bribe and putting it in the bank account. The last we saw that was
Mr.
in the
Kohli,
JMM bribery
can we
case,
come back to the question I asked?
25 years ago. The second part is about, let's come. Yes, I'm coming. Second part is with regard to the issues that Prime Minister Modi has done, spoken of. Let's look at the track record of the government. Yes, it is for the Congress to say, oh, these people have done nothing. But then the work also speaks for itself. Who stopped the Congress from coming up with a scheme like Ayushman Bharat? 50 crore people to benefit from health scare or health insurance. 10 lakh people have already taken the benefit of it over the last 1 month. Who stopped the opening of bank accounts? 40 crore plus bank accounts opened. That financial inclusion led to the direct benefit transfer. Did anybody stop the Congress party from opening these bank accounts and then ensuring that some 100 odd plus schemes would ensure direct benefit transfer of almost 6 lakh crores? The net saving of ghost beneficiaries being eliminated, middlemen being eliminated, is about 1 lakh crores. It's not a small sum of it. Or in development, roads, or in gas connections, I can go on. The second part about it is, show me one scam that has happened in the government, so the need to manufacture one. Who formed the SIT within the first cabinet meeting, which with the Honorable Supreme Court wanted the Congress Party UPA to form for 3 years? They didn't. Who brought the Benami, strengthened the Benami Property Act? Who brought the act to confiscate the properties of those who abscond? Loans are given during the period of the UPA, and who's fighting to bring back the absconders? The BJP. Who brought back the Christian Michel, the middleman? Based on fighting it in a foreign land doggedly, so that he could exhaust all his legal options and then have no choice but to be extradited back to India. So now, just to have a slogan, on one side you have a slogan making machine of the Congress, the other side you have somebody who works and makes the slogans based on that.
So you're saying, na khaunga, na khane dunga.
It's not going to happen
Kohli,
by Mr. Khera saying something or my saying.
Mr. Kohli, your 2 minutes are up.
It's not a slogan, it's a commitment.
You're saying na khaunga, na khane dunga is not just a slogan, it's a commitment. We are getting pictures of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra coming to the ED office to receive her husband. We'll come back to that later. But Pawan Kheda, very quickly, the perception war. Do you concede that the Prime Minister now is winning the perception war by once again taking strong action against the likes of Vadra, Deepak Talwar, claiming that he's going to bring back those who left the country, the Nirav Modis, the Mehul Choksis? Do you concede that the Prime Minister is recapturing that momentum? Vijay Mallya could well be also on his way back.
Not at all. Rajdeep, the fact of the matter is they all escaped under his watch, duping people. Giving loans by banks is not a crime. That's the duty of the banks and the right of an investor or an entrepreneur to take loans. Now they make it sound as if UPA में loan देकर पाप कर दिया. Loan नहीं देंगे तो काम कैसे चलेगा? The economy has come to a standstill. People are unable to pay. The loans are getting converted into NPAs. That's the short story of the NPA disaster.
The perception war.
Nothing to do with the UPA. We were doing
Nalin
our job.
Kohli says the perception war. The Prime Minister, he says, is committed to fighting corruption.
I'm coming to that. Coming to that, Rajdeep. Let the Prime Minister order an inquiry into the misdeeds of Ajit Doval's son, inquiries into the Sahara Birla diaries, inquiries into Jai Shah scandal, inquiries into Piyush Goyal's companies, inquiries into the GSPC scam where ONGC was forced to buy companies and ONGC is now bleeding to bankruptcy. This is the biggest scam which the Prime Minister personally is involved. As the Chief Minister of Gujarat, he helped companies dupe money, he helped all these GSPC companies and now forced the ONGC to buy those companies. इससे बड़ा scam क्या हो सकता है? So the Prime Minister himself has indulged in several scams, Rafale being one. Today Sudhanshu Mohanty has really exposed that scam. So ये बोलते रहे Rafale कुछ नहीं है, Rafale कुछ नहीं है. Rafale is the they what
I need to answer.
ये इसमें ऐसा फंसने वाले हैं और फंस चुके हैं, they know it. Therefore,
Can I
the Prime
quickly
Minister
get
does
Nalin
what
Kohli
he
to
is the
respond?
best at.
Can I
Just
get quickly
speak.
Nalin Kohli to respond? Then I want to get
लोगों का पेट भर जाएगा.
I want to get other voices, but Nalin Kohli quickly respond. Somewhere the Prime Minister has perhaps, with his ultra aggression, according to his critics, also betrayed a sign of nervousness. The manner in which he spoke, there was anger, there was a sense of anger on the hard facts. Whether it is GSPC, whether it is the Rafale deal, whether it is Jai Shah, whether it is Ajit Doval's son. Will the Prime Minister answer these questions or not?
No, I'll give a straight answer and this will take just a couple of minutes. The first is, yes, there should be anger because of the falsehood and the blatant lies that comes from the Congress side. Rafale went up to the Supreme Court, no less than the bench of the Honorable Chief Justice of India heard it, junked it, including after seeing all the price details in a sealed cover. What happened? No, that doesn't work. But we believe it's a scam because if it doesn't suit them, they will even call for the impeachment of a judge. They have chased the Prime Minister from 2002, left not one opportunity. Mr. Modi allowed himself and said, I will go and submit myself to an investigation, sat for 9 hours. Show me one Congress leader who has not invoked the court rights and tried to prevent an investigation into his or her case. Show me one who said, I'm going and I'm going to sit and face the ED. If you name each one of them, whether it is Jai Shah or Mr. Doval's son, file defamation cases immediately. Show me one defamation case by Mr. Vadra. If anybody has a problem and says this is incorrect, they take it on, come out publicly, give answers, immediately provided, and they say we will take our recourse in legal action. Nothing happens on the Congress side, but they will like to make an equation. Article 14 doesn't work in the reverse. That I have a scam, so I'll manufacture a scam, and you should also be blamed of a scam. I mean, it can't be in that sense. Let me also tell you, no, I must also point out on Rafale, what is the best thing I heard in the speech, which the Prime Minister said? The Prime Minister said in his speech that one MP said, let me answer. I didn't interrupt Mr. Kheda. Mr. Kheda, I know no, this is not done.
This huge,
this is not done.
Pawan Kheda, let Nalin Kohli complete.
नहीं आप 3 मिनट दे रहे हो उनको साहब.
No, same amount, not here
you
to
can't give him 3 minutes and not expect me to
hold
answer.
on, Mr. Kheda, I challenge you that let the time be seen of how long you've spoken and I bet you I'm going to be less than you.
Very quickly now, 30 seconds, Nalin Kohli, complete your argument.
So I want to finish my answer.
Don't you challenge me?
Yes,
on
I'm
that.
finishing.
I have a stopwatch here.
Let me finish my argument.
Yeah, let him finish.
No. Yes, please, sure, okay, Mr. Sardesai can do it. So let me now come.
Yes.
What is it? Why are you interrupting me, Mr. Kheda? Let me finish my point. We are wasting time of the viewers.
Yes,
let me
now
come to the last thing on GSPL. Do you think a government and a party that did not spare even a Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorist like Ishrat Jahan, manufactured a false affidavit, went to the Supreme Court and every court under the sun, would have not done so with GSPL? Manufacture a scam, so that something may come against Modi. The problem is there is nothing against Modi, but there is a lot probably on the other side, and that's why they want to somehow invoke it.
Okay. You both made your points. Now I want to come to my two guests in the studio patiently listening.
Rajdeep Sardesai.
Just a minute.
They lied before the Honorable Supreme Court on Rafale. No, let me also, I'll need to interrupt. No, I'll need to respond to this.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll need to respond to this. Look at the CAG reports when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. The GSPC scam is out there. It is out there. तभी तो लोकायुक्त बनाने की हिम्मत नहीं होती थी तब. अरुण जेटली क्या impeachment नहीं लाए थे सौमित्रा सेन के खिलाफ? When we bring impeachment, the Prime Minister talks about it in the Parliament as if it was a crime. It was our constitutional right, just as Arun Jaitley also had a right to bring an impeachment against Soumitra Sen. आप लाएं तो बहुत बढ़िया, हम लाएं तो गलत है. कम से कम प्रधानमंत्री को ऐसा नहीं बोलना चाहिए जैसे एक पार्टी का स्पोक्समैन बोलता है. उनको तो तथ्यों पर बोलना चाहिए और सच बोलना चाहिए. Today the Prime Minister was lying.
Okay. Strong words. Now you come, Rahul Srivastava. You've seen perception. The images
Rahul
we are playing.
Gandhi's figure changes on the Rafale scam with every speech he does. That is the gospel truth.
No, now, okay.
30,000 crore, 40,000 crore, 60,000 crore, 1 lakh crore, 1,50,000 crore, 2 lakh
झूठे आंकड़े दिए.
There is something called also short-term memory there.
झूठे आंकड़े, आयुष्मान में झूठे आंकड़े,
Mr. Rahul Gandhi is out on bail.
अरे ये देश का प्रधानमंत्री बोल रहा है, नलिन कोहली बोल रहे हैं टीवी पर. आपके स्पोक्समैन टीवी पे झूठ बोले कोई बात नहीं. Prime Minister of India in the Parliament lies like this, cheats the country, misleads the country.
Mr. Kheda.
No, I'm sorry, this is a fraud on this country and this fraud is coming to an end. This fraud is coming to an end. Thankfully.
No, you are entitled to get yourself compared to Rahul Gandhi ji. That's your right.
No, 1 minute.
Absolutely.
Now it is personal. You're calling each other liars. Gentlemen, I will now lower the mic for a moment.
TV पर no problem.
Okay.
Why should the Prime Minister lie in the House?
Okay, you believe he's lied in the House, but now Srivastava, the perception.
ये कैसा मेरा देश का
Narendra Kheda and Nalin Kohli, producer,
you can move a privilege. Your saying doesn't make it a lie.
Okay, fade us down. Rahul Srivastava. Perception, the picture that I'm now going to play is Robert Vadra coming out of the ED after being grilled all day. Yesterday grilled for 6 hours, today for another 10 hours. The Prime Minister saying that the Congress family is involved in corruption and seemingly walking the talk. Is this a perception war that the Prime Minister is playing to recapture that Chowkidaar image of 2014?
Rajdeep, I think we are less than 100 days away from elections, and both the political parties over the last several months, or say even the 55 months, have tried to build their own narratives against each other. And if there was Chowkidaar Chor Hai over Rafale, if there is that there are no jobs, if there is that health has suffered, India has suffered, economy has suffered, the Prime Minister presented a counter. I think in public domain, both of them have created two narratives against each other, competitive narratives against each other. And in that, 55 साल versus 55 महीना, मिलावटी सरकार, महा मिलावटी, रुकावट versus इरादे, these are templates which have been thrown in public domain. Now, which template or which narrative will get more traction, which is more compelling, will I think decide the fate of these political parties. But if you see what Prime Minister Modi has done with Vadra and lot of these, he has put in the public domain a narrative which is visibly looking more, has got Kodak moments, has got those pixel moments, television channels are following. it's an attempt. But I definitely believe, if you notice, Prime Minister didn't attack any other political party but the Congress. There are some signs within this speech that somewhere the Prime Minister was slightly on the defensive, aggressive, but was defending and creating a template to counter. It was not the same speech as we saw in the first few months when he came to power.
You know, the difference is, in a way, then he was the challenger in 2014. Now he's the incumbent. Today there was a Prime Minister aggressive, attacking Sonia Gandhi, attacking Rahul Gandhi, attacking in a sense Robert Vadra and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. Now, Javed Ansari, does that mean in a sense, with Priyanka Gandhi Vadra now openly saying, I stand by my husband, is the Prime Minister determined to show that the family, the first so-called first family of the Congress stands compromised today? Is that the aim? To actually target in a way the first family of the Congress, that I am the person who's going to target even the VVIPs like Robert Vadra?
Look, I do believe that there is a method behind what the Prime Minister is doing. There is a reason why suddenly, or it's more than a mere coincidence that Mr. Chidambaram, Mr. Vadra, Mamta, everything is happening suddenly. There is a strategy.
What is the strategy?
The strategy is that the Prime Minister wants to position himself as this great crusader against corruption and say that all these people are getting together because I'm reining in the corrupt, I'm trying to jail them, and therefore they're all getting together. So therefore, whether it's Mr. Robert Vadra or the others, all this. And that's why the Prime Minister kept saying, because he has taken a beating, a battering on the Chowkidaar issue. He's trying to reclaim that high moral ground. Whether he does or not, I'm not too sure. A lot of the time, he was very pugnacious, very punchy, but a lot of it was very repetitive as well. That flamboyance and flair has been replaced by grating. He's a lot more in your face.
He's a lot more in your face. He's angry. But Nalin Kohli, Pawan Kheda, is corruption an issue in this election? Let me ask you very clearly. Nalin Kohli, in 2014, the Prime Minister could target the Manmohan Singh government on UPA scams. He was then the challenger. Now it's his government. I didn't hear the Prime Minister speak on jobs. I didn't hear the Prime Minister tell me what he was going to do about agrarian distress. Why not speak on the real issues? Or do you believe that corruption is once again the top issue for the Prime Minister in this campaign? And using Maha Gadbandhan versus Maha Milawat is part of this to show that this is a corrupt Gadbandhan versus a so-called honest Chowkidar?
Well, that template he has answered is in terms of the attack which is being made on him. And he's entitled to. Nor is there anything that makes it incumbent on the Prime Minister to club all the issues under the sun and put it in every speech. I mean, just now your own colleague on TV has
address to President's address. Why not speak on jobs? Why is the Prime Minister not willing to defend his track record on jobs and agrarian distress? Why was the focus today on corruption? Was it because with Robert Vadra at the Enforcement Directorate, the Prime Minister believes he can win the perception war there?
I don't know what the Prime Minister believes, and I will certainly not speak to what the Prime Minister believes. He's entitled to believe what he wants to believe. He's the Prime Minister, and he has enough sources of that. Two is, he's also entitled to speak what he wishes to. When he needs the advice from you, me or anyone else, he's entitled to seek it or not seek it at all. With regard to the issues, all the issues that are part of the performance thing are 100% going to be part of the election campaign. How would we not take our track record? And why would we not take our track record when it's a 55 months versus a 55 years?
Okay,
but on the corruption thing, they want to manufacture a corruption attack on the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister is entitled to show them the mirror.
The Prime Minister is showing you the mirror, says Nalin Kohli. Very quick response, Pawan Kheda. Is corruption a core issue of this 2019 campaign or not? Is the Congress willing, given what we are seeing playing out at the Enforcement Directorate, willing to take on the government on corruption?
Rajdeep, people realize when Mamta and Akhilesh come together, suddenly there are cases against them. When Mamta refuses to come to NDA, there is an action against her. People realize what's happening. But the corruption which affects the common man is the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. 16,000 crore go to private insurance companies, not to government insurance companies, and 4,000 crores go to farmers. These are issues that really affect the common man. So that level of corruption, which really hits everybody, is an election issue. It will definitely be an election issue. And as far as Prime Minister's entitlements are concerned, as my friend Nalin Kohli was, yes, of course, आज तो प्रधानमंत्री बोले सूरज भी मेरे बगैर इजाजत के ना अस्त होगा ना उदय होगा. तो AM doesn't happen without the PM. इतने बड़े entitled आदमी हैं, वो तो कुछ भी कह सकते हैं. I agree with you. So don't talk about entitlements of the Prime Minister. We all know how entitled he is.
Let's leave it there.
And हम सब डरते हैं साहब, बहुत entitled आदमी है वो तो.
Okay, Pawan Khera, Nalin Kohli, Rahul Srivastav, Javed Ansari. When you have politicians, then they take over the show. That's what happened today, I am afraid. My take. In 2014, Narendra Modi came to power as the muscular 56-inch Neta who would end bolting corruption during the UPA era. His one line, na khaunga, na khane dunga, became his defining badge. Since then, and especially in the last 18 months, there has been a sense that the Congress campaign on Rafale, Nirav Modi, Mehul Choksi had slowly undermined Modi's tough on corruption image. Now in election season, Mr. Modi wants to recapture the moral high ground on corruption, and his last act in the 16th Lok Sabha was the perfect platform. Mr. Modi's speech was punchy and pugnacious, but it was also personal and angry, perhaps signifying the complete breakdown of relations between BJP and the Congress. Mr. Modi is at his best when he carries the warrior street fighter image as a powerful political communicator, and today was no different. At a time when the Congress has chosen to attack him with the Chowkidaar Chor Hai rhetoric, Modi has hit back strongly with Vadra and more. Remember, it was his street fighter image that first made him so attractive to a new India in 2014. Then he was the challenger. Now as the incumbent, he wants to retain the anti-establishment aura. Then the demagoguery was unique. Now it sounds all too familiar, Man Ki Baat, before a captive audience. The failed promises on jobs and agrarian distress will also now haunt him. And yet, unless a disjointed opposition can find its own narrative for change, Mr. Modi remains in pole position for 2019. Truth is, the battle for 7 Lok Nayak Marg has well and truly begun.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.